Let's be honest, this video might ruin your excuses, and maybe it's exactly what you need, because for too long you've been told to take it easy, to be kind to yourself, to wait for the right time. But deep down, something's off. You feel it. You know you're capable of more, but you're stuck. You've been showing up halfway, doing just enough to say you tried, but never enough to really change. This isn't another motivational clip with a nice beat and some catchy quotes. This is your wake-up call. In the next few minutes, you're going to hear the raw truth about pain, about potential, about the price of becoming someone you're proud of. You're going to meet people just like you, tired, unsure, wounded, who decided to get uncomfortable and rebuild themselves from the ground up. You'll learn why suffering is not your enemy, why obsession is your edge, and why there is no finish line to this work, only deeper strength, greater peace, and a version of you that will make you look back in awe. But here's the deal. If you click away early, you'll miss the one thing that could change your life completely. At the end of this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do to finally break the loop. You've been trapped in and become the person you know you're meant to be. So stay locked in. If you're tired of falling short, this is where it ends. If you're ready to rise, this is where it begins. Let's go. Part 1. Wake the hell up. Nobody's coming to lie. We were sold you. We're told that if you just keep your head down, follow the rules, smile politely, and wait, your turn life would reward you. That if you worked hard enough, someone would notice. That a break would magically appear. That someone, your boss, your partner, your parents, your country, would finally see how much potential you had and unlock the door for you. But here's the truth. No one's coming. No mentor. No miracle. No map. It's just you, okay? In the mirror. And if that scares you, okay? Because fear means you're finally paying attention. You see, most people don't wake up. They coast. They complain. They shrink into routines that numb the pain of mediocrity. Not because they're lazy, but because it's easier to hope someone else saves you than to admit that no one will. But you're different. You're watching this because deep down, there's a part of you that knows. You can feel it. The clock ticking. The weight growing. That tension in your chest that says, I was made for more, but I'm not doing enough. You're not alone, but you are responsible. Stop looking for permission. There's a guy named Sean. He's 31, lives in a small apartment in New Jersey, spends his mornings scrolling job boards and his nights watching YouTube, wondering why his life feels like a rerun. He's smart, talented, but stuck. Why? Because he's waiting for someone to choose him, to approve him, validate him, hand him the opportunity he thinks he deserves. And while he's waiting, life's moving, rents due, dreams fade, time passes. You think you're stuck because you don't have the opportunity. No, you're stuck because you're waiting for permission. But here's the wake-up call. The door isn't locked. You just haven't pushed it open. You don't need more degrees, more followers, more feedback. You need action, because clarity doesn't come from overthinking. It comes from motion. Don't ask the world, am I ready? Tell it, watch me. Subscribe now if you're done waiting for permission and ready to take control. This channel is for those who rise without applause. The comfort lie is killing you. Comfort is the real enemy. It looks safe, feels warm, but it's a slow poison. Dressed like peace. Every time you choose later, comfort grows stronger. Every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, it tightens its grip. Comfort whispers, you're doing enough. But deep down, you know you're not. It's not that you lack ambition. It's that you've made peace with staying the same. You've convinced yourself that surviving is good enough. That it could be worse is a valid reason not to aim higher. But here's the brutal truth. If your goals don't scare the hell out of you, they're not goals. It's distractions. If you're not waking up every morning with a fire roar, a fight, then you're not building a life. You're maintaining an illusion, and that illusion, it costs you everything. Time, energy, purpose, pride. It's time to let it burn. Nobody's coming to push you. Nobody is coming to knock on your door and drag you to the gym. Nobody's coming to rewrite your resume. Nobody's coming to stop you from binge watching another empty series while your dreams collect dust. This life, it's on you. You are the hero and the villain of your own story. Your habits, right? Your destiny. Not your hopes, not your affirmations, not your Pinterest board. And the hardest part, no one claps for you at the beginning. When you start waking up, early silence. When you skip the party to study crickets. When you grind without results, doubt creeps in. But keep going, because the applause comes later. The results come later. The belief comes later. You have to move before you feel like it. Work before you're inspired. Commit before you're confident. Discipline isn't about being motivated. It's about showing up when no one gives a damn. But you, rock bottom is the starting line. You think rock bottom is the end. It's not. It's the moment the lies stop working. When you finally look around and admit, this isn't who I want to be. This isn't the life I said I'd live. That moment, that's sacred, because pain is honest. Pain doesn't sugarcoat. Pain points the way out. When the roof caves in, you see the sky. Rock bottom gives you two choices. Stay down, numb the pain. Repeat the cycle. Stand up, rebuild, rise. And no one can make that decision for you. So ask yourself, is this how your story ends? Or is this the chapter where everything changes? The fight starts with youth. There's a woman named Jordan. She's 26, lives in Detroit. Grew up in chaos, doubted by everyone. She's got no rich uncle, no safety net, no blueprint, but she's building her life like she builds muscle in the dark, in the cold, in silence. She wakes up at 5 a.m., not because she loves mornings, but because she refuses to stay average. She doesn't post about it, doesn't need applause. She just works because she knows no one's coming. And that truth, it fuels her. You want to change your life? Stop waiting for rescue. Start becoming dangerous. Train your mind. Move your body. Master your habits. Learn, adapt, execute. Because every day you stall, every day you delay, someone else is outworking you. Someone who's not smarter, richer, or luckier, just hungrier. So the next time you think, maybe tomorrow, ask yourself, what if tomorrow never shows up? The real you is dying to be seen. There's a version of you waiting, one that doesn't hit snooze, doesn't settle, doesn't apologize for wanting more. They're buried under years of doubt, fear, and failure, but they're not gone. They're just waiting for you to show up every excuse you make is a brick on top of your buried potential. But guess what? You built the wall. You can tear it down, brick by brick. Wake up, move, speak truth, do the work. The world doesn't need another echo. It needs your voice. But first, you have to believe it's worth hearing. Final message. Own it or stay the same. Let's cut the fluff. No more motivation hacks. No more vision boards without action. If your life sucks right now, it's probably your fault. But that's not bad news. It's the best news you'll ever hear. Because if it's your fault, then you can fix it. You're not powerless. You're just distracted. So this is the moment, right here. Right now, you either wake the hell up or you'll stay asleep. You'll either rise, or you'll rot. There is no rescue, only the mirror. So go stand in front of it. Look yourself in the eyes and say, nobody's coming, but I'm still going. And then get to work. Subscribe if you're done waiting, done wishing. This channel is your battle cry. Weekly drops for the ones building something real. Part 2. The Death of Average. Redefining what's normal. Myth of normal. You've been sold a lie. They told you normal was safe, predictable, comfortable. But comfort is a silent killer. Normal is a slow death. Because here's the truth. Average is the most dangerous place to live. It's not painful enough to force change, not joyful enough to feel alive. It's a limbo that steals decades, numbs ambition. It convinces you to settle for less than you were born to become. Normal is the job you hate, but won't leave. It's the weight you carry, but don't address. It's the dream you talk about, but never build. And you're better than normal, but you have to prove it by killing it the moment. Let me tell you about Jade. She's 36, 3 kids, worked 2 jobs, kept the house running like clockwork while hiding a body she didn't recognize, and a heart that hadn't felt passion in years. She called herself a survivor. Others called her strong. But the truth, she was drowning, not because she was weak, but because she made everyone else her priority. Until one day, her youngest asked why she never smiled anymore. She didn't answer. She just locked herself in the bathroom, stared in the mirror, and broke down. That was her moment. Not the gym membership, not the Instagram transformation. The breakdown was the breakthrough. She realized surviving isn't living. And being tired all the time wasn't noble, it was a warning sign. She didn't need a diet. She needed a new identity. And that started by saying goodbye to average. Normal is overrated. When did it become normal to dread Mondays? When did it become normal to live for weekends, waste talent, and silence your potential? Being average isn't natural, it's trained. You learned it from parents who gave up on dreams, from teachers who told you to be realistic, from friends who laughed at your ambition. But it's not your truth. The truth is this: you weren't born to blend in. You weren't created to coast. You are not meant to get by. You are meant to rise. But rising hurts. It costs more. It demands more, burns more. Because while average settles, greatness sacrifices. Burn the old blueprint. You keep asking, what's the plan? Let's rewrite it. Your old blueprint was built around avoiding discomfort. Work just enough. Try just enough. Dream just enough. But just enough always leaves you empty. It's time for a new plan. Wake up earlier than comfort allows. Say no to distractions that serve nothing but dopamine. Move your body daily, not for looks, but for self-respect. Build something, anything that wasn't there yesterday. Be the hardest worker in the room when no one is watching. Stop chasing motivation. Build rituals. Stop waiting for clarity. Create motion, because normal people wait for permission. Uncommon people give themselves orders. The new normal, suffer with intention. Pain is the price of the upgrade. The death of average doesn't come easy. It comes in early alarms, missed parties, late nights, heavy lifts, hard conversations. It comes when you feel alone in your discipline, when no one gets it. When they say you've changed and they're right. You're no longer like them. You no longer hide behind sarcasm or caffeine. You no longer blame your boss or your genes or your childhood, because you've seen the truth. You are your only obstacle. And once you own that, everything changes. Your body, tool, your habits, armor, your pain, a compass. But first, you must plead for the upgrade, because that next level version of you is waiting on the other side of your excuses. You have to kill who you were. Let that sink in. You want to rise? You have to bury the old you. The one who hit snooze, the one who ghosted the gym, the one who let fear dictate decisions and Netflix devour hours. That version doesn't get to come. They die here, because transformation isn't gentle. It's violent, brutal, exacting. You're not just shifting routines. You're shifting realities. And yes, it's going to hurt. Growth is grief. Your morning comfort, familiarity, numbness. But what you gain self-respect, momentum, peace earned, not given. And that's worth the death of your past. Your new normal. Imagine this. It's 5 a.m. You're the only one up. Your feet hit the floor. Not because you're motivated, but because it's who you are now. The coffee's bitter, the gym's cold. But you smile, 'cause discomfort is your domain. You used to scroll. Now you read. You used to complain. Now you act. You used to wish. Now you work. This is your new normal. And the world, it doesn't get it. It still worships shortcuts, but you don't need validation, because every rep, every mile, every page you read while others sleep is currency, and you're getting rich in a currency that average people don't understand. Discipline, identity, fire, the work, it's the reward they ask. What's the goal? The goal is this: doing the work when it's thankless, showing up when it's boring, grinding without guarantees, because the grind changes you. It chisels away the weakness. It replaces doubt with data. And over time, you start trusting yourself again, not because someone clapped, but because you did what you said you would. You promised yourself a new life, and then you built it, brick by sweaty brick. Choose the fire. Average avoids fire. You choose it. Average fears pain. You befriend it. Average waits. You build. This is what separates you now. You've redefined what normal means. Normal is struggle. Normal is sweat. Normal is showing up when no one notices. You are not like them, okay, anymore. You are not average. You are not waiting. You are becoming. And every day you choose discomfort over distraction. You prove it. So keep showing up. Keep getting sharper. And if someone calls you crazy, let them, because average never changed the world. If you're done living small, hit that subscribe button. We're building warriors here. Weekly videos, daily wake-ups, zero shortcuts. Part 3. Obsession is not a dirty word. Let them call you crazy. If you'll say you're doing too much, they'll tell you to chill out. Take a break. Relax. They'll laugh when you cancel plans. Roll their eyes when you show up early. Shrug when you say no to the easy way. Let them, because they don't get it. They don't understand that what you're building doesn't come with balance. Not in the beginning. Obsession isn't a fluence. The entry fee. You don't casually become the best. You don't coast your way to excellence. You want to level up. You want to be elite. Then you better be willing to be misunderstood. Because obsession looks like madness to the average. But you're not average. Meet Marcus. Marcus was a marketing manager. Nice salary, nice office, nice little box of success. But nice doesn't light your soul on fire. So one day, he quit. Just like that. Sold his car, downsized his apartment, and walked into a local MMA gym with nothing but a dream. He was 29, no fighting background, no accolades, no natural talent. Just fire. He trained every day, twice a day while working security shifts at night. He lost his first 8 fights, got laughed at, got hurt, got humbled, but he showed up every single day. Why? 'Cause he was obsessed. He wasn't chasing applause. He wasn't after likes. He was chasing the version of himself that couldn't be shaken, beaten, or broken. And after years of silence, after more losses than wins, he won his first pro fight, then another, and another. And now, it's not just a fighter. He's a force. He didn't balance his way there. He earned for it. The myth of balance. Free ones preaching balance. Make time for everything. Stay centered. Don't push too hard, okay? But here's the truth. No one wants to say out loud. You can't balance greatness. Not in the beginning. You want to write the book, okay? Build the business. Transform your body. Rebuild your life. Then, for a season, everything else becomes background noise. Not forever, but long enough for the fire to catch. Obsession is how you break through, and balance. Balance is a luxury you earn after you've built something worth balancing. Until then, you lock in. What obsession really looks like? It's not sexy. It's not cinematic. Obsession is messy. It's lonely, exhausting. It looks like eating alone so you can finish that script, saying no to parties so you can train in silence, waking up at 4 a.m. so you can beat the sun and your old self. It's wearing the same hoodie 5 days in a row because all your focus is in your fight. It's being the one who doesn't need external validation because your proof lives in your daily effort. Obsession is doing it when it's boring, doing it when no one's asking for it, doing it because you said you wouldn't. That's enough. Rewire the word you've been taught that obsessed means. Unstable. Too intense, too focused. But let's reframe it. Obsession is devotion. Obsession is alignment. Obsession means you found something worthy of your full weight. So let them mock you. Let them mislabel you. Let them say you're overdoing it. You're not here to be understood. You're here to become undeniable. Craft your fortress. Every obsessed person has a system. You don't leave your passion to chance. You build a fortress for it. You set rituals. You guard your energy. You cut out what doesn't serve the mission. This is the season where you say no, relentlessly. No to gossip. No to shortcuts. No to distractions that dim your fire. You create a life that supports the obsession, a schedule that reinforces the identity. You don't wait to feel like it. You don't wing it. You design it. Because obsession needs structure the way a fire needs oxygen to open. It dies, too cramped, smothers, but just right. It consumes everything in its path. Obsession requires sacrifice. You will lose people. You will outgrow old circles. You will be called selfish. And sometimes you'll wonder if it's worth it. But here's the truth. You're not losing people. You're shedding illusions. People who can't respect your obsession were never rooting for your growth, and that sting. That's the cost of elevation. So feel it, grieve it, then keep going, because the ones who matter, they'll see the fire, and they'll either respect it or rise to meet it when it's working. You'll look insane. You'll train through pain. You'll study through fatigue. You'll skip rest days, not out of arrogance, but urgency, because you know what's at stake. You've tasted what it's like to betray your own potential. You've lived that lie, and now you're chasing truth, the kind that lives in sweat and silence and repetition. You won't look like everyone else. That's the point, because average isn't your aim. Alignment, purpose, is mastery, is and that requires a different operating system, one most people can't comprehend. The fire you feed obsession isn't something you have. It's something you feed. Every choice either fuels it or kills it. The way you wake up, the way you train, the way you eat, the people you let in, the shows you binged. Every act is either building your obsession or breaking it. So ask yourself, are you feeding the fire or starving it? Because no one accidentally becomes elite. You don't trip and fall into greatness. You grind your way there. Your mission is not for sale. You don't get to be obsessed and popular. You don't get to be obsessed and universally approved. You don't get to be obsessed and constantly comfortable. You get to choose. Do you want to be liked? Or do you want to be legendary? Do you want to coast? Or do you want to conquer? Obsession demands a decision, and that decision says more about you than anything you'll ever post. You want to live like most won't. Then you better work like most don't. It's okay to be unbalanced for now. If you're in a season of becoming where the world feels distant and your fire feels consuming, it's good. You're supposed to be a little off. You're supposed to be too much. Let the dishes pile. Let the phone ring. You're not being rude. You're being reborn. You're in the cocoon phase. And yes, it's ugly, but you're not here to impress. You're here to emerge. So go all in. One day, you'll have balance. peace, maybe even applause. But right now is war, and war demands obsession. Obsession ends excuses. Obsessed people don't need pep talks. They don't wait for motivation. They don't outsource accountability. Why? 'Cause their mission is bigger than their mood. They don't care if it's raining, if it's hard, if it's lonely. They go anyway. And you're becoming that. Every step you take into discomfort is a vote for your future. Every decision you make against ease is a declaration. I'm all in. This is who you are, not you, not dabbling. You're not testing the waters. You're not seeing how it goes. You're in, head down, heart full, eyes forward. You don't explain it anymore. You don't water it down. You live it. This is who you are. The early riser, the late grinder, the relentless one, the uncommon one, the obsessed one. And no, it's not easy, but it's worth it. Every missed call, every lonely night, every scar, because obsession doesn't just change your results, it changes your identity. And once you become the type of person who doesn't quit, everything else becomes possible. Still burning. Hit subscribe now. Not because you need more videos, but because you're building a life that demands constant fire. And we're here to keep it lit. Weekly drops for the obsessed. Part 4. Build the warrior from weakness to weapon. You are not broken. You are unsharpened. You've been lied to again. They told you your flaws were permanent, that your pain made you weak, that your story disqualified you. But that's not the truth. Here's the truth. You are not broken. You are unsharpened. There is a weapon inside you, blunt, rusted, dull from years of hiding, and it's time to bring it out. But you don't sharpen steel with comfort. You sharpen it with fire, with friction, with force. You want to be strong? Then you better get ready to bleed for it. Meet Sarah. Sarah was 24, homeless and ashamed of everything she had survived. Sexual trauma, family betrayal, addiction, the weight of 1,000 silent nights. She had every reason to quit, every justification to live small. But one day, she walked into a gym not to be fit, but to survive. That first lift broke her. Not just her body, but her mask, because pain lives in the muscles, in the breath, in the silence between sets. And through the sweat, something began to shift. She began to remember who she was. Not a victim, not an afterthought, but a weapon waiting to be reforged. And rep by rep, page by page, tear by tear, Sarah began to rebuild. Not from the outside in, from the inside out. The warrior is built, not born. No one is born relentless. No one comes out of the womb fearless, focused, disciplined. Every warrior you admire, they were once soft, once lazy, once scared, once average. The difference, they didn't stay there. They chose to build something stronger, and they started with what you have right now. A body that hurts, a mind that wanders, a heart that remembers pain. That's all it takes, because warriors aren't built from power. They're built from pain. The battle starts inside before you conquer the world. You have to conquer the war inside. Your self-talk, your habits, your shame, the lies you whisper to yourself at 3 a.m. That's your real opponent. And the longer you avoid that fight, the louder it grows. You have to face it, all of it. Not with affirmations, but with action. You build the warrior by doing the hard thing when it makes no sense. You work out when you're tired. You study when you're confused. You pray when you feel abandoned, because repetition is redemption. And those reps, they don't just change your body, they rewrite your identity. Callous, the mind you've heard of calloused as hands. But the greatest warriors, they build calloused minds. What does that mean? It means you learn to suffer well. You learn to sit with pain without flinching. You train yourself to stay steady when everything screams to quit. It's not about being cold. is about being ready. When life throws chaos, you don't crumble. You adjust. You don't run from the fire, okay? You walk into it with your eyes open, because you know this is where the edge is built, not in peace, not in comfort, but in the pressure cooker of discomfort, rejection, discipline, and every time you show up for that, you get sharper. Make pain useful. Everyone feels pain, but warriors, they make it count. They don't numb it with food, Netflix, alcohol, distraction. They mine it, work it, channel it, use it as fuel. You're not soft because you feel hurt. You're soft if you waste it. Pain is raw energy. It's the most honest feedback your life will ever give you. Use it. Use heartbreak to build resilience. Use betrayal to fuel clarity. Use regret to create rhythm. Every wound is a weapon if you know how to hold it. You need a system building. The warrior doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. You need structure, routine, ritual. You need to set up your days like a general preparing for battle. Morning movement. No excuses. Mental reps. Books, journals, reflection, self-accountability. No lies. No shortcuts. Physical suffering. Not for vanity, but for strength. Every action is either building the warrior or breaking it. There is no neutral. No kind of. You are either on mission or you are being manipulated by comfort, fear, or distraction. So choose, study the weaknesses. Part is hard because it's not about celebrating your strengths. It's about hunting down your weaknesses with precision, with honesty. If your discipline sucks, fix it. If your diet's a mess, fix it. If you're addicted to validation, fix it. Warriors don't ignore flaws. They expose them, then they kill them, piece by piece, day by day, one deliberate action at a time. This isn't cruelty. This is care for the version of you that's waiting on the other side of sacrifice. Your story. It's your superpower. You think your past disqualifies you? You're wrong. It's your passport. No one wants to follow the perfect. People follow the scarred, the battle-tested, the once broken. Your pain gives you access to resilience, to empathy, to fire, but only if you use it. Don't hide your story. Harness it. Bleed it onto the page. Burn it into the reps. Shout it from the climb. Let your scars teach others how to survive their wounds. This is how warriors lead, not from perfection, but from presence. Who do you need to become? The warrior is a future you, and every action you take is either building a bridge toward that identity or burning it. So ask yourself, what does that version of you eat? What does that version of you say no to? How does that version of you react to stress? You must become before you achieve. Identity drives behavior. So build that identity daily, and one day you'll look back and realize you didn't fake it. You forced it. Nobody's going to do this for you, no coach, no podcast, no influencer. They can inspire you, okay, but they can't transform you. That's your job, and it starts with this. Show up, even when you're tired, even when you're uncertain, even when it's cold, dark, and lonely, especially then, because that's where warriors are born. This is your weapon, now your body. It's not a trend, it's a weapon. Your schedule, not a chore list. A battlefield, your story, not a setback, a sword. And your pain, not a punishment. A teacher. You're not just getting in shape, you're building a life no one can take from you. That's what warriors do. They own their weakness, then they turn it into armored final charge. It's time to choose of. Waited long enough, wished long enough, suffered in silence long enough. This is your moment. This is where you stop living wounded, start living weaponized. You're not here to survive. You're here to fight. So, take one step today, one rep, one truth, one uncomfortable choice, and know this. Every single time you show up, you are sharpening the blade. Part 5. What the fire does. Suffering into strength. Everyone wants to be strong until it's time to suffer. Everyone says they want strength. Everyone says they want discipline, confidence, and courage. But no one wants to process that builds it. No one wants to walk into the fire. They want strength without the struggle, greatness without the grind, results without the resistance. But here's the law. You don't get strength without suffering. Not real strength. Not the kind that holds when life hits you in the face and everything falls apart. That kind of strength. It's earned through fire. Meet JJ wasn't a pro athlete, not a social media star, not someone anyone expected much from. He was a janitor. Worked the graveyard shift cleaning middle schools. Lived with his little brother who had autism. Barely made enough to get by. But there was something different about him. Every night after work, after 8 hours of mopping floors and scrubbing toilets, he didn't collapse into bed. He ran at 2:30 in the morning, alone. No crowd, no camera, no comfort. He trained for an Ironman with a body that wasn't built for endurance and a schedule that left him running on fumes. Why? Because the fire called him. Because he understood something most never will. The fire doesn't burn you, it builds you. The fire reveals who you really aren't. The fire, there are no filters, no masks, no person, as it's just you. Stripped down to your core, your fears, your doubts, your demons. When life breaks your routine. When the world goes quiet, when the excuses run dry what's left. That's where strength is forged. Not in your image, but in your identity. You don't find out who you are in ease. You'll find out in adversity, in that moment when quitting is the easiest option. And you don't. That's when the warrior speaks. Pain is the truth teller. Most of us lie to ourselves every day. I'm fine. I'll start Monday. I'm doing my best. But pain doesn't lie. Pain tells you exactly where you're soft, where you're hiding, where you're out of alignment. And that truth is a gift. Because once you stop lying to yourself, you can finally start changing yourself. Pain says, you're out of shape. Good. Train harder. You're broke. Good. Learn the skills. You're alone. Good. Build yourself into someone worth standing beside. Every ache is a message. Are you listening? There's power in staying. Most people run from suffering. They numb it, escape it, avoid it. But you learn to stay, to sit with the discomfort, to breathe through the storm, to not flinch when your soul screams for relief, because you've learned something the world forgot. The longer you stay, the stronger. You become not because you like the pain, but because you respect what it gives you. Clarity, character, conviction. Suffering builds confidence. People think confidence comes from success, but that's not the full story. Confidence comes from suffering and surviving. It comes from showing up on days when your body says no, speaking up when your voice shakes, training alone while others party. Confidence isn't loud. It's quiet, rooted, unshakable. It whispers, I've been through worse, and I'm still here. The reps you do in the dark, they show up in the light. So keep going. Your confidence is growing with every step you take through the fire. Suffering makes you dangerous, not violent, not cruel, but dangerous in the best way. Because nothing the world throws at you rattles you anymore. You've already been through hell. You've already endured what others fear. So when life gets heavy, you don't fold, you rise. And people can feel that. They see it in your posture. They hear it in your voice. You walk differently, not because you're arrogant, but because you're armored. Every scar, every setback, every silent night. There, still now. And the world takes notice when you carry yourself like someone forged in fire. Use the burn. There are two types of pain. The kind that destroys you, the kind that drives you. You get to choose. Every betrayal, every failure, every moment you thought you wouldn't make it. Use it, burn it. Don't waste it. Take that rage, that heartbreak, that regret, and run with it. Run faster, train harder, focus deeper. Let it fuel your focus, because once you learn to convert pain into power, you become unstoppable. Discomfort is your new compass. Most people move toward comfort. You move toward challenge because you've learned the secret. If it's uncomfortable, it's probably important. You've stopped avoiding hard conversations. You've stopped skipping tough workouts. You've stopped waiting to feel ready. And now, your entire identity is shifting from the comfort seeker to the fire breather. This is the new you, and you're not looking for easy anymore. You're looking for evolution. There is strength in the scar you want to quit. Sometimes that's normal, but then you remember you've survived things that should have broken you. You've carried weight most people never will. You've bled for this, so don't you dare stop now. Your scars aren't signs of weakness. They're proof that you kept going. They're not pretty, but they're powerful, because the world doesn't need more polished influencers. It needs scarred leaders, people who've walked through hell and came back with fire in their eyes. That's you. Own it. Suffering is to shortcut you. Keep looking for the hack. But here it is. Suffering is the shortcut, because what takes most people a decade of false starts, you can earn in 1 year of focused fire. But it won't be easy. You'll have to work when no one claps. Train when it's raining. Believe when results don't show up. You'll suffer. But when you come out the other side, you won't just be better. You'll be reborn. The fire keeps you humble there. Something beautiful about pain. It doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care about your title. You're following your past wins. It levels everyone. And that humility keeps you grounded. It reminds you that you're still growing, still learning, still earning every inch of progress. So don't resent the fire. Thank it, because it's keeping you human, keeping you hungry. Final lesson. Let it burn you. 1, 2. Change. Then stop putting out the fire. Let it burn. Let the discomfort push you. Let the fear humble you. Let the process stretch you. The pain isn't punishment. It's permission to rise. And now you get to choose. Walk away or walk through. 'Cause everything you want, every goal, every win, every version of you that looks you in the eye and says, "We made it," it lives on the other side of suffering. So light the match and walk into the fire. Part 6. This is who you are now. The never finished life you don't graduate from hard work. You thought there'd be a finish line, that one day, after enough work, the struggle would stop, okay? The pain would pause. The discipline would become automatic. That one day you'd finally arrive. But here's what nobody tells you. There is no arrival. There's just the next rep. It's the next level, the next battle. You never graduate from hard work. You just grow more willing to do it. This is the never finished life. And now, this is who you are. Meet Riley. Riley is 41, a father of 2, former high school athlete, somewhere between used to be in shape and what happened. He spent years playing it safe, paying bills, watching games, avoiding mirrors. He told himself, "It's too late. My prime's gone." Until one morning, his daughter asked why he never smiled in pictures. That wrecked him that night. He dusted off a pair of running shoes, walked into the cold, and ran until his lungs burned. Not because it felt good, because he was done being a shell. Fast forward 12 months, 60 pounds, lost our career, pivoted. Eyes lit up. Not because life got easier, because he got harder. This is what the never finished life looks like every day. Choosing to show up not because you feel like it, but because it's who you are now. Your identity has changed. You used to say, "I'll try. We'll see. I'm just not that kind of person." But now, you don't ask permission from your past. You don't identify with the version of you who flinched. folded, and faded. That person is gone. You don't say, I work out. You say, I'm a warrior. You don't say, I'm trying to build a business. You say, I'm a builder. This isn't about habits anymore. It's about identity. And your identity is forged not by words, but by action, repetition, discipline, fire, the never finished standard. What does it mean to live the never finished life? It means you don't take days, code from your values. You don't wait for motivation. You don't need applause. It means you set a standard, okay? Even when it's inconvenient. Even when you're tired. Even when no one's watching. Especially then because consistency when no one's clapping. That's where greatness lives. That's the difference between dabblers and doers. Between people who flirt with growth and those who marry it. You're in this for life now. Not because it's trendy, but because it's truth. You become the standard at some point. You stop chasing role models and become one. You stop mimicking routines, okay, and write your own. You stop needing guru sand, become your own coach, your own fire. That's the shift. From follower to leader, from consumer to creator. You become the one people look to when they forget what's possible. Because your life isn't just about you anymore. It's a map, a message, proof that reinvention is reality, that discipline isn't a punishment. It's a privilege. You wear it now, you walk it now, you embody it now. You are proof. You used to look for evidence that you could change. Now, you are the evidence. Your body. Proof that consistency beats genetics. Your schedule. Proof that time can be mastered. Your mindset. Proof that demons can be tamed and turned into fuel. You walk into rooms differently now. Not with arrogance, but with earned peace. Because you know exactly who you are and exactly what it took to get here. You didn't shortcut. You didn't cheat. You built this. And no one can take it from you. You don't wait anymore. You used to wait for motivation, for clarity, for the perfect moment. But now you know there's no perfect moment. There's only now, the hard thing. You do it first, the boring thing. You finish it well, the uncomfortable truth. You face it because momentum matters more than mood, because action is clarity, because every moment you hesitate is a moment stolen by fear, and you've given fear enough. This isn't discipline anymore. It's devotion. People ask how you stay so disciplined, but they don't get it. This isn't about rules anymore. This is about devotion to the mission, to your family, to your calling, to the version of you that stares back in the mirror with pride. Discipline got you started. Devotion keeps you going. Because now, it's sacred, not the grind, but the person you're becoming through it. You don't need to feel it. You just do. You'll still have hard days, still get tired, still hear the whispers of doubt. But the difference, you don't listen anymore. You act. Feelings come and go. Standards stay. You've trained your nervous system, your emotions, your patterns to obey your mission, not the other way around. And that's freedom. Because once you stop negotiating with comfort, everything changes. You'll never be done. And that's the gift you might. If you thought this journey would have an endpoint, a moment of final arrival, but you've seen the truth. Now, there's no finish line. Not because you're broken, but because you're built for more. You're addicted to growth now, to sharpening, to stretching, to showing the next version of yourself what's possible. That doesn't make you restless. That makes you alive. And that makes you dangerous. In the best way, legacy is daily. You don't leave a legacy someday. You build it every day in the choices. No one sees in the effort. No one cues you for in the battles you fight within. You don't need a trophy to validate that. You need your own damn integrity. Because now, you don't just want to be impressive. You want to be impactful. You want your life to speak long after you're gone. And that starts by living the standard now. who you are now, so who are you now? You're the one who keeps going when others stop. You're the one who wakes up when others sleep. You're the one who speaks truth when it's unpopular. You're the one who doesn't settle, who doesn't shrink, who doesn't stop. You are calling, relentless, focused, forged in fire. You are never finished. And that's your edge. That's your fuel. That's your life now. Outro. You've stayed. That means you're ready. You made it to the end. And that says everything, because most people tapped out. They got uncomfortable. They felt exposed. They closed the tab. They'll tell themselves they were too busy. But the truth is, they weren't ready. But you stayed. You felt the fire and didn't flinch. You walked through the hard truths and let them hit you. You sat with the discomfort and kept breathing. That alone makes you different. Not better, but ready. Ready to stop pretending. Ready to stop postponing. Ready to build something real. And now, as this video ends, you're standing at the edge of a cliff with a decision to make. You can walk back into the life you had before comfortable, familiar, predictable, or you can leap. You can start living like your future depends on it, because it does. And if there's even a flicker of fire in you right now, fan it. Don't wait until tomorrow. Don't wait for someone to push you. Don't wait for the fear to leave. You don't need more time. You need more action right now, while your heart is open and your mind is sharp. Move right down your new standard. Make the call you've been avoiding. Throw away what's numbing you. Get up early tomorrow. Push yourself. Don't negotiate with your old self, because this is a turning point. You were never meant to be average. Never meant to coast. Never meant to die with dreams still in your bones. You're not broken. You're becoming, so stop asking if you're worthy. You already proved it by staying here, by listening, by daring to believe that maybe, just maybe, you were made for more. You were. This is your reminder. This is your mirror. And now the reflection is clear. This is who you are now. Never finished. Always growing. Forever uncommon. You've got everything you need. Now, go. Not perfectly, not confidently, but fully, boldly, all in. And if you're ready to keep walking this road with people who refuse to settle, we'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay hungry, stay human, stay hard.